everybody. My name is Jasmine. I'm one of the coaches. I'm founder of Team Bold and Brave. So if you're in here, probably your coach is one of my girls. And I'm so excited to talk to you guys today because I'm a former teacher. I no longer teach children, but I used to teach in Detroit. I taught in inner city Detroit for 3 years, and then I taught in Nashville for a year, first grade, kindergarten, and third grade for a little bit there. And today we're going to chat about toxic people in the work environment and how to handle those, because for me personally, in my first challenge, that was the most life-altering thing that the challenge brought to my professional life. I was working in Detroit at the time, and I was just surrounded by toxic women. I hate to say it because I know so much of it is circumstantial, but that being said, we were all within the same circumstance, and some people dealt with it in a really positive way, and then other people didn't. And it's not a judgment thing, it's just that's the way it was. And it's a really positive, my whole life I've been a pretty positive person, and I got put in Detroit. I was gifted the placement of Detroit, and it was just a lowest income school in Detroit, turnaround year, 300% staff turnover. We didn't have a principal for a few months. We went through, I think, 4 principals our first year. I mean, I'm talking no pencils, for real. That's where I was at. And so you can imagine in that environment how some people will react and what that does to your psyche long term. So this was in my 3rd year. I was doing my challenge, and I had been bombarded with all of this negativity from where I worked, and I would try and leave early, or even just try and leave on time, but it was a necessary thing to work with the other teachers because we had no support. So we kind of had to bond together and form our own support system. And the women I was working with were the women I was working with, and I had to make the best of the situation and work with them. So not working with them wasn't an option. If it was an option, I probably would have taken that route. And I recommend that, if there's a way that you can, if you're noticing that there's a toxic energy, love and leave them if you can, get out of that space, get out of that area. If you're noticing you're going to the lunchroom and it's a toxic area, and you have your lunches and you can eat in your room or you can eat somewhere else, do that, because it's going to do a lot for your mental health if you go and plug into the challenge group or listen to a positive YouTube video or even watch Hulu or something. It's going to be better than having the inputs of the gossip and all the other teachers. So what was I saying? Yes, so my first challenge, I came into school still bombarded by all of this negativity, but as I went through the challenge and as I started working on this guy up here as well as my body, and I started giving to myself, this really magical thing happened where I would walk through the halls, and it was people didn't like it. They didn't like that I was changing. They didn't like that I was positive. And I didn't give a fuck. That was so empowering to me that I'd walk into a room and I knew they were just talking about me. Because how dare I be happy? How dare I take care of myself? How dare I leave on time so I can get my workout in? How dare I not eat the donuts at the staff meeting? How dare I? How dare I work on myself and be happy, right? And it just kind of, something clicked for me. Where it was you know what, you guys, I'm sorry, but I am responsible for my own happiness, and I choose me. And I choose happiness for me. And from that point on, you guys, it literally, I felt the best metaphor is I felt like one of those pink rubber erasers. They would say things at me and send me, more than even say anything to me, it was just energy. Just energy all the time, all this negativity and sneers and the way they looked at me and things they said, and things about, not even just about how I looked or how I was working or the hours I was working or anything. It was about my character, and about my character as a teacher, and it literally just bounced right back off me. I didn't let it in. It was I had this invisible force field around me of just light now, And I just knew, and that's how it feels when you get to that place of truth and you know that this is what you need. That's how it feels. You just know it's right. And the thing is, they know it's right too. And if things get more toxic, you're just a mirror for them. You're just reflecting to them what they know and they wish they had the courage to do. So when that's happening, keep being the thing. Send them love and light, but keep being the thing, because they need you, and they'll come around sometime too. So yeah, so there's my little story about toxicity, and like I said, I recommend if you have the ability, if you have the room to, kind of separate yourself a little bit, remain professional and remain cordial and remain civil and all those things, but if you can distance yourself a little bit from the gossip, from the negativity, from the complaining and the bitching, do it. Give yourself a little space. And if you are integrated into that in a team or whatever, and you kind of can't avoid it, then I recommend you just don't partake in it. Let them bitch. That's fine. You don't need to include yourself in that. And also just, consider, I always come back to this phrase of, you are who you surround yourself with. I kind of consider everyone a life coach, because we embody the people that we're around most. And so depending on who you're around at school, like, you're gonna start taking on those mannerisms and start taking on those traits and start taking on those mindsets. So that's why we're so happy you're here, because if you're here, then you're our people. And if you're our people, then you love love, and you love light, and you love positivity and optimism, and you're here just to spread that in the world. So so if you can't, you always plug in the challenge group, and just keep that top of mind. I am who I surround myself with. Who do I want to be? And let that question guide you, and I think you'll find some truth. So thanks you guys so much. I'll talk to you soon. See you in the group. Bye.